Well, it seems like lately I've been doing anything but LP videos, but that's about to change. And speaking of which, I've been asked a lot lately when I would pick up Ocarina of Time again, and the answer is not anytime soon. It's on hold right now, like what usually happens to my side LPs whenever I go through a busy period. But yeah, it's very unlikely that we'll see more Ocarina of Time in the coming weeks. I think at least until we hit Route 225, and that is quite a ways away. It could wait even more. So I apologize for that. It's just that, as I said, I'm going through a rather busy period. So that's why there's not going to be much Ocarina of Time. In fact, I'm gonna tell you a little tidbit about that LP. I started it a week or two before Black and White came out, and at the time I was debating whether or not it would be a good idea to actually get started on it, because if I started it and then I would end up being unable to do more videos at a certain point, like what's happening right now. And in fact, I sort of knew that I would have a lot of trouble posting videos of Ocarina of Time after Black and White came out, and on top of that, we're going through a busy period at work, so yeah, I had my doubts, but I said, you know what, I'm going to get started on it anyway, so at least to get the early game out of the way, and because I need something to do prior to Black and White coming out, so basically that's why I decided to start the LP anyway. And as a result, well, now a lot of people are asking me when we're going to see more episodes of Ocarina of Time, and the answer is not anytime soon, I'm afraid. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I just panicked a little bit because I thought I heard a little clicking noise. There's nothing there. I thought I heard a clicking noise coming from my computer, because the deal is that on the old computer, where I did all my other LPs prior to starting this one, it had a tendency sometimes to crash on me. Like, for example, it would shut down automatically, and there would be a blue screen of death, and then, oh lord, Ms. Drevis, don't tell me I'm gonna have to switch out Cresselia. It's gonna get its ass kicked if I keep it in there. But yeah, when that would happen, there would be a blue screen of death, and after that, the computer would reboot all on its own, and that, whenever the computer would shut down and show the blue screen of death, there would also be a little clicking noise that comes from the computer. So that's why I thought I heard it from the computer here, but thankfully that didn't happen. I sort of panicked for a second, because I never had this problem with this computer that I'm using right now. But obviously that's of no interest to you. I don't know why I'm telling you that. I just got sidetracked, I guess. But yeah, something I was wondering about Black and White, since I was talking about it earlier, is that you've probably already experienced critical captures within the game, because I wouldn't say it's common, but it happens every once in a while. If you don't know what critical captures are, it's basically when you throw the ball, there's that little metallic noise that's made, and then the ball shakes only once, and then the Pokemon is usually caught. Presumably, this increases your chances of catching your Pokemon by a lot. However, there was something that happened to someone at the TSG forums. Basically, the guy had a Munna down into the red and asleep. So even with a regular Pokeball, using the formula that I know of, it would be a guaranteed catch. However, a critical capture occurred on that Munna, and the Munna actually escaped. So I'm wondering if maybe the critical capture actually has a flat rate of missing every time, regardless of whether it would be a guaranteed catch or not without the critical capture. Because as far as I know, critical captures are fairly undocumented. We know they happen every once in a while, and we also know that they can miss every once in a while. However, we don't know any percentages or anything like that to, help us actually know if it's any more common than we think they might be, or if they miss pretty often. They don't miss pretty often. Of that I'm certain of, because there are very few reports of critical captures actually failing, but that thing with the Muna I was talking about means that critical captures could potentially fail even when a non-critical capture would succeed. So, yeah, I have absolutely no idea. Cerebi has nothing on that. Bulbagarden has nothing on that. In terms of numbers, that is, they both acknowledge the existence of critical captures, but other than that, there really are no numbers to help me understand how they work. And speaking of numbers that I can't find anywhere on the internet, remember back when I did my Crystal LP, I made a little tutorial to explain the scoring system in the bug catching contest? Well, we know they changed the formula in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Of that there is absolutely no doubt, because I've heard plenty of stories, and I think I've experienced it myself once or twice, stories of, Caterpies and Weedles beating Pincers and Scythers, and the reason for that, I think, is because back in Gold, Silver, Crystal, you had extra points for not hurting the Pokemon very much before catching it. However, what I believe happened is that they increased this bonus substantially in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which means that if you attack your Pinsir or your Scyther too much and the AI captures a Caterpie or a Weedle at full health, it gives them a better chance at actually potentially winning. But okay, I'm sorry, I just went on another tangent. I do that a lot, don't I? I talk about something and then I end up talking about something else that I had no intention of talking about in the first place. But yeah, I guess I could sort of salvage it by saying that because of the lack of understanding of the formula in the bug catching contest in the Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I can't do a tutorial for it like I did for Gold, Silver, Crystal. And give me just a second, I'm going to send Zapdos in the lead, because there are a lot of water types in this place. I thought sending out Cresselia in front might have been a better choice given what was there, but so many water types. There are Pelipers, there are Floatzoles, and Zapdos would definitely have a much easier time against all of these guys. Sadly, I didn't check the list of random encounters before I started recording, so I didn't really know whether it would be best to send out to Cresselia, Zapdos, or Giratina in the lead. And it didn't... Oh, no, God! Well, that is not good at all, because this isn't Generation 5, where being poisoned, even when you're poisoned in Generation 5, you don't lose health by simply walking around, which is a huge improvement, especially if you're nowhere near a Pokémon Center. However, in this generation, you still lose health when you're walking around. And Zapdos, well, it does have Roost, but I don't want to waste all that PP to just keep it healed with Roost, especially since it takes up a turn. And unlike what happened with Giratina in Victory Road, it doesn't have the Shell Bell on it. I guess I could micromanage the items, but that's more effort than it's worth. So I think it's going to be, wow, Fire Blast Lickitung? I never expected to see that in-game, but yeah, as I was saying, it's not worth micromanaging items, so I guess this is a job for the Antidote. I know I tend to avoid using consumables as much as possible, but I'm nowhere near done with this place, and I don't want Zapdos to be poisoned, or especially not to die, because I'm going to need Zapdos throughout this place, because my level advantage is not nearly as big as it usually is. Anyway, the thing that I was about to talk about is that, well, I don't know how I missed it, why I didn't talk about it when it happened. I guess I wasn't paying any attention to the screen at all or something like that. But back in Part 99, there was this black belt, I think Eddie was his name, who, when you beat a trainer, they always have a line or two before you get your prize money. Well, his line was, well, either it was all glitched out, or it actually was an attempt at humor. what would it mean? I have absolutely no idea. If it's an attempt at humor, then it's a miserable failure. Just like George W. Bush. I hope someone gets the reference, by the way. But, yeah, if it's a glitch, then it's not a problem with my ROM. It's actually a problem with the game itself. That's how it works in Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. And now I'm just gonna look for the antidote. Antidote, please. Pretty please. Oh wait, I was in the wrong pocket all this time. Blame Black and White, they merged the medicine pocket, the held item pocket, and the Pokeball pocket all in one. At least the three types of items are divided between each other when you actually sort the items, and you can also scroll much faster throughout the items by just using that little sidebar at the side of the screen. And by the way, something that I wanted to talk about, since all this talk about ban lists has become a huge issue ever since we got the combo ban and now the Blaziken ban, is that I noticed a few weeks ago that Pokébeach actually had its own ban list, and that it was much longer than the one used by Smogon, so I intended on using that example to say, once again, that Smogon isn't really as ban-happy as other communities, because Pokébeach allows itself to ban Pokemon based on pure Theorymon. However, between then and now, their ban list actually mirrors Smogon's a lot more. For example, Blaziken is banned by Pokébeach as well, though there are still a few differences. For example, Latios is banned already. Drizzle is banned entirely as well. There's no combo ban over there. And surprise, Shadow Tag is actually banned as well, despite the fact that over at Smogon, Wab Buffet isn't even close to being a concern. It's been hit very, very hard by the power creep, as one might guess, and banning Shadow Tag as a whole instead of just Wab Buffet, even if Wab Buffet doesn't prove to be nearly as good as last generation, it's still a very bad preemptive measure, because we already know that if Chandelure ever gets Shadow Tag, it's probably going to get banned, judging by the Dream World metagame and how it's dominating it, even with all the huge, powerful threats like Ditto and stuff that aren't even in the regular metagame right now. Even despite all that stuff being present, it still shines with its own special light. So Chandelure would probably be banned. However, Gothitelle hasn't been breaking anything so far in that metagame. So, would it really be fair to Gothitelle to just ban it on the grounds that Shadow Tag's a very good ability? Because that's banning based on Theorymon, and that's something Smogon obviously wants to avoid. And their suspect list over at Pokébeach is also much longer than Smogon's. Latias is a suspect over there. And you also got Landorus, which used to be almost game-breaking back when Sand Force was glitched. It boosted the power by 50% instead of 30%, but now it's no threat at all. So, yeah, it's just to say that people like to point fingers at Smogon, but there are other communities that are doing a lot worse in terms of banning stuff for no apparent reason. Anyway, now there's no time left for another trainer, so I bid thee farewell for today, and I'm going to continue Route 224 next time.